What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Rivendell, sometimes known as the Bearded Dwarven Princess. Welcome back to another episode of LOTRO Tourism, where we take you through all the locations that you can find in the Lord of the Rings books and show you these places in the Lord of the Rings MMORPG. When last we left off, we were atop Weathertop. I've got some kittens stirring in the background, so there might be some activity that goes on as we all just woke up from our naps. Little pan the camera there. There's three of the little ones. In any case, we left off at Weathertop, which is where I'm currently situated with my hobbit, Donovan Berenduin. And off in the distance, as we look towards that direction, we can see the Trollshaws, far off to the east. And it is to the Trollshaws that we will be riding today, through the Trollshaws, and eventually making our way to Imladris, or Rivendell, as it is more commonly known. And as we go through, we're going to be stopping off at a couple of points along the Trollshaws route, one of which is from the Hobbit, and the other one which is from the Lord of the Rings book itself, The Fellowship of the Ring. Eventually making our way to Rivendell, which is in both of the books. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, somewhere up in here, if I remember to place it, there will be a link to the previous episodes where you can follow the journey. We started off in the Shire, and we're basically following the footsteps of the Fellowship all the way through to Throw of the Ring into Mount Doom in Mordor, and we're also going to be visiting iconic locations on the way, exploring things like where did Boromir ride from when he rode from Gondor to Rivendell? What path did he take? Let's look at those locations and so on and so forth. So hopefully you enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get more like this. Thanks to all of our supporters for making this series possible. If you would also like to support, stick around to the end. We'll talk more about it there. But in the meantime, let's get going. Mount up and ride forth. Because this episode may be a little longer than previous episodes, we'll see. I don't think I want to jump down there, although I theoretically could. We're going to take the long way down from the Weathertop here. Go down before we... I don't really feel like having broken legs on my horses right off the bat. But we can take a little bit of a quick route down if we wanted to by going down to the right, but we're just going to take the path here and go out to the main road. Now, the Lowlands themselves only have a brief description in the books themselves, so there were some creative liberties taken when they created this particular zone. But the Trollshaws have been described in both of the books, being The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So that's the place we're going to be heading now. So without further ado, as we get down the mountain here, as we get down Weathertop, looking out towards the west, there's a path down there. Can we see the path? There's the ruins. I don't know that we can actually see that. That's the road over there, down that ridge line. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but that's the road we're heading for, and we're going to be going in that direction. So, I may just get a little brave here. Oh! It's alright. We can have the occasional broken leg as we head out. Now, as we get to the edge, the eastern edge of the Lowlands, you can see ahead of us the last bridge, which is described, not in great detail, but it does have enough of a description that we can go ahead and recognize it at a point of interest from the books and beyond the Trollshaws. You can already see it's subtle, but not so subtle, the transition from the Lowlands to the leafy vegetation, the foresty look of the Trollshaws. To this day, the Trollshaws is one of my favorite locations in the Lord of the Rings online base game in terms of all the locations you can visit in the Shadows of Angmar launch version. It is just a breathtakingly beautiful zone. And as you make your way over the bridge here, you get a distinct difference in landscapes of the Trollshaws ahead of us, the South Trollshaws, and then looking behind us to the Lowlands, which are kind of barren in comparison. And then we're heading into the lush vegetation here. I'll be darned, there's a stable master I haven't gotten. I must not have brought this character through here since the most recent patch. Okay.
Greetings to you.
Cool. Well, as we go through here, there is one location in particular I want to take everybody to, which is the Stone Trolls Glade, which we're going to make our way to here momentarily, because it is a location that we see in both the Hobbit as well as in the Lord of the Rings, as all the characters stumble upon a trio of familiar faces. Now, let's head that direction. Now, it is a bit off the beaten path, but it's worth it getting out here, because once you do, you get a glimpse of 3 of our favorite companions, who we may or may not have come across a couple of times before at various times in their antiquity. The 3 trolls, of course, from The Hobbit, and whom they come across in the wilderness when they are riding through with Aragorn on the way to Rivendell. Again, you can find that here at the Stone Trolls Glade in the Trollshaws, and even though it is a little bit off the beaten path and it might take you a little bit to find it, it's totally worth coming for some screenshots if you'd like to find one of these little hidden locations that is referenced in the books. From here, we're going to head back out and continue to make our way to the next POI, which on the map is going to be the Fords of Bruinen here on the map. So without further ado, let's head back to the main road. This is one of my favorite parts about riding through the Trollshaws, is that you can see on either side of us we're just surrounded by the forest. And you can go exploring. There's plenty of stuff to do here. Some of my favorite quest chains in the entire game are here, including one that features one of our favorite characters to love and hate, Smeagol/Gollum. I don't want to spoil that for anybody, but there's a really cool quest chain in here where you get to actually hunt down Smeagol and have an interaction with him. It's really cool, but it's off the beaten path. But it's one of the things I love about the Trollshaws so much. Now from here, as we come around the bend, we're going to be making our way down to the Fords of Bruinen themselves. And they're described pretty well in the books. I think they're also visually represented very well in Peter Jackson's Fellowship of the Ring film. But essentially, this is where a major action sequence takes place. This is where the Nazgul confront Frodo right at the end of the first book in the Fellowship of the Ring, and of course over here is where the floodgates are released and the water comes sweeping down with the the horses that Gandalf adds and then everything else, and then here of course is the fort itself, and then the Nazgul are swept downstream by the waters. And there's some really cool quest lines here if you quest in the Trollshaws, if you're following the main epic series of quest lines that send you off to hunt down what became of the Nazgul. Very important also from the book, because it's actually part of what happens in the book as they are leading up to the Council of Elrond, is people are sent out in all directions to find out the fate of the Nazgul, and you essentially are doing that alongside everyone here in the game. Really cool quest line. But from here, we're going to be making our way up through the mountains into the upper crags, trying to find our way into the hidden entrance to Rivendell. Now, the first time you make your way here, it might be a little confusing because it is sort of congested, but that's part of the reason why you're coming through this area, because you're looking for this section here. You're looking for these 2 guards, which are essentially going to lead you down the gullet into the area known as the Gates of Imladris, which are the gates to, it's the pass essentially to Rivendell, the Gates of Imladris here. And from here, it's a long, winding path down into Rivendell, just like it's described in The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. But as we begin to make our way down, you're going to see below us the valley is opening up on our left. Now, we're not going to see anything quite yet, because you do have to make your way down quite a little bit before it does start up into it. Now, I'm seeing buildings ahead of us. Oh, what's that? We're entering Rivendell Valley, and there ahead of us is the last homely house, where, of course, Elrond, half-elven. Now, if we move down here, we can get a little better look at the valley itself. We, of course, have the last homely house, but we have the entirety of Rivendell stretched out beneath us, and there's a lot to see and do here. Now, if you've never quested here before, going to first person for a minute, give you a little bit of a better view. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot going on. And if you're level appropriate when you come here, you're going to be questing out of here and doing a lot of different things for a lot of different people. And of course, one of the coolest things about Rivendell for me is that all of the Fellowship of the Ring characters are here. So you're going to be meeting everyone, even if you may have worked with a few of these people along the way. You may have met Aragorn, you may have met Gandalf, but you may or may not have worked with Frodo and Sam, Merry and Pippin. You definitely haven't met Legolas and Gimli, and all of those characters come to life here as played out in the Lord of the Rings Online. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is probably a good point for me to have a stopping point and say, welcome to Rivendell, which is one of the coolest locations in the game. Well, here's the cool thing about Lord of the Rings Online, at least for me. The world builders on this game got better and better, and have gotten better and better, because the game's still alive, it's still being developed, there's still expansions coming out, and I'm currently in Central Gondor right now. I'm working my way through. I've been playing this game since launch, and I still haven't ever thrown the ring into the Ring of Fire, which I'm on a mission to do that by the end of the year this year. But the point I wanted to make is that as good as this looks, just wait until you get to Rohan and then into Gondor and Mirkwood and Fanghorn Forest and all the other locations that are in the books, because they look so amazing in this game. They have done an exceptional job. And no, I'm not sponsored by these guys. I just love this game, and I think it's one of the best MMORPGs on the face of the planet, and I really think that you should play it as well. So if you liked this video, there's a few things I'd love you to do. First and foremost, of course, is like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you can continue to get updates as I do more LOTRO Tourism episodes. Once a week is the current schedule on these. If you want to support the channel, which I hope you would love to help me as a content creator, drop a super thanks down there. You can pick an amount, $2, $5, $20, $50, whatever you want. Drop it down there. It contributes to helping support me as a content creator and saying that you love these videos. It's also to join the ranks of those people on the screen who are already helping out as members. You can join as a member of the Adventurers Guild down there, or you can go over to our Patreon page for the World of the Weave and the Void, where my brother and I are building our own point-and-click adventure game, fantasy world, and book series. Mary, actually, these cats, by the way, this is Smeagol, Sam, and Mary. Mary's wanting to go out right now. She's woken up from her nap, and she's saying, come on, Daddy. So I got to wrap this video up. Frodo and Pippin are outside with Luke and Leia, our other rescue cats. Anyway, follow along. Thanks for everybody for their support. Also tune into the live streams, which happen every single morning, every single night. You could do super thanks and super chats on those live streams. And hopefully we'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Enjoy your adventures through. Next week, we're going to be heading into Rivendell itself and exploring some of Rivendell proper. And beyond, we're going to be going into the Misty Mountains. And beyond that is Moria and more. Thanks so much, everybody. Enjoy your time in Middle Earth, and I'll see everybody in the next episode. Cheers.